Hey guys, it's Sandro here and welcome to part 4 and the final chapter of the detail on this Nissan Pulsar VZR N1 Spec 2. So in this chapter, I'll be taking you through ceramic coating the glass, paint and trims, summarising this whole 75-hour detailing process and then leaving you with the final shots of the finished car. So let's get to it with coating the windshield and then the rest of the vehicle's glass. For this I'm using NV Nova Glass, which is an extremely hydrophobic and long-lasting vehicle glass coating. After applying a generous bead of the coating to my applicator, I'll dab it into a quarter section of the front windscreen and then do some rather quick horizontal and vertical overlapping lines to coat that section of the glass. I'm then basically going to repeat this process 2 more times so that I've applied 3 consecutive layers in total. And then I'm going to use my applicator without applying any more product to it to level the coating as best I can to remove as many streaks as possible. The final step will be using a short pile microfiber cloth to pick up and remove the last of the streaks and ensure I have a perfect, clean, clear finish. And I'll also coat the wiper blades once I'm finished with the front windscreen to give them a little less friction over the surface. Nova Glass is an extremely fast and almost instant flashing coating, which is why it's important to move a little more quickly with it. And it's because of its rapid flash and cure times that you're able to layer it so quickly. Now because the front windshield gets a lot more punishment, I like to apply 3 layers to it. But for the rest of the glass, I'll only do a single layer as it should last just as long as 3 layers on the windscreen. And in most cases, the owner should get a good year, if not longer, of rainwater just rocketing off the glass as they drive in the rain. So on to coating the paint and trims of this amazing little hot hatch. For this I'm using Nova Pro, which is a professional use only grade ceramic coating that should last many years, as well as boost the gloss and saturation levels of the paint and create a dramatic hydrophobic finish over the entire exterior paint. Just like applying the glass coating, I'm going to do about 3 cross-hatch applications over an approximately square meter section at a time. But because Nova Pro is much thicker in consistency, I'm going to move a little slower while applying it to ensure I get a good consistent application and coverage. Now, compared to most other professional ceramic coatings on the market, Nova Pro does tend to flash a little quicker. And in my particular case, where it was in the mid to high 20s Celsius in temperature, the coating was taking approximately 2 to 3 minutes to flash or bond to the paint before wiping it down. Besides the visual indication where you can see the coating go from looking very wet, dark and uniform to then start to lighten up, streak and take on some purple highlights, you can also judge a good flash or wipe off time by how the coating feels and behaves. If the coating smears a lot and your cloth just seems to push it over the paint rather than picking it up, that's a sign you haven't waited long enough and the coating hasn't effectively bonded to the surface. And if you wipe the coating and it's very tacky with lots of friction, that's a sign that you've waited too long. So in essence, the easier the coating is to work with, the more likely that your wipe off times are spot on. I know it can be hard to get it right when you're first starting out, but after a while you will get a feel for it. So it's just a matter of practice like most things in life. And I can tell you that after applying hundreds of ceramic coatings over the years, it almost becomes second nature. Unlike most car waxes and sealants that are very forgiving to apply, you'll really get one shot with the true ceramic coating to get it right, as if you miss a high spot, streak or smudge and don't address it within an hour or so, it's pretty much not going to wipe off, and you'll have to polish or compound it off as well as the rest of that panel and start again recoating it. But even more so than having to do this extra work is simply the embarrassment of having a customer bring back a car due to missing some coating high spots. After applying more ceramic coatings to more cars than I can count and having to learn from my mistakes, this is the reason I really take my time during this final coating stage. It usually takes me a good 2 to 3 hours plus, or even longer sometimes, to apply a single layer of a ceramic coating to a vehicle, depending on its size and specific panels. After I finish every panel, I always assume there's a high spot or streak that I've missed, and I take my time closely going over that panel with good, soft lighting and look at the panel from many different angles until I'm completely satisfied it's free of any high spots. And only then will I move on to the next panel. A small high spot can sometimes be extremely difficult to see, so don't be too hard on yourself if you miss one, because we're all human. But if you have several coating high spots on a vehicle and you do this for a living, that's just not an acceptable outcome. And you just need to slow down, take your time, and make sure you're using some good, soft and diffuse lighting to apply the coating, which is extremely helpful in revealing coating high spots. Now, if you've been following this whole series from part 1 to this final part 4 chapter, you'll know the sort of condition that this car and its paint was in when it first rolled into my shop, which was in dire need of some caring and restoration detailing work. So over a period of about 75 hours, I did my best to show this legendary 90s little hot hatch some love and tried to revitalise and restore the finish of the wheels, engine bay, interior, outer trims and paintwork. Now, there were certainly quite a few challenges in trying to find that perfect balance of achieving the best finish possible, whilst also having to consider and accept that there were limitations in the available paint to work with that required a more respectful and restrained approach. Now, even though I wouldn't say that every panel or trim on this car had a perfect or flawless finish, I would say that it was without a doubt one of the biggest detailing transformations I've done to date, with one of the most appreciative, excited and kind-hearted clients I've ever had that made all the hard work worthwhile. I really hope you guys enjoyed this series, as there's just something about these 80s and 90s cars that have a place in my heart. Maybe it's because I grew up in that era and these were the cars me and my friends were aspiring to own one day. Or maybe it's because cars today just seem to all look and be the same from one manufacturer to the next, where perhaps they've lost a little of the soul that their older siblings have. In any case, I really hope you guys that own some of these 80s and 90s cars look after them and pass them on to future generations so they can experience what I and many others think was the golden age of cars. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Got the goosebumps. That was awesome, man. Thank you. Yes, it's the best I've ever seen it. I've had it for 9 or 10 years. Even the badge is nice and shiny. Yeah, it's heaps faster than what it was. It's perfect, because now that red is really showing it's really glowing now. Yeah, it looks amazing. It smells good. Yeah, it is. It's very nice. Yeah, it looks awesome. Yeah, it looks amazing. Yeah, it's the best I've ever seen it. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
1, 2, 3. White shoes, old news. I found myself falling for you. Blue hat, I know that. Oh, you've been looking out for me too. I'll see you when the sun comes out.
Can't hurt to go out one more time. Let him hold my hand and fall for his every line. But it did. I thought it can't hurt to finally open up, tell him all my secrets and then fall in love. But it did. Oh, you've got something that belongs to me. Too hard for your tricks, your half-truths, and all your moves. Yes, I did. Although big or small,